So placements generally go from anywhere between £10,000 to £25,000 per annum. So that. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time seeing me, hi, my name is Cookie and I'm a molecular microbiologist and content creator based in England. Thank you so much for stopping by. To my old ones, to all the people that have been here since, Happy New Year. I hope you had an awesome Christmas. I hope you had a great holiday. And yeah, welcome back to a new academic year. So without wasting much time, let's just get right into this video. In today's video, I just want to explain to you guys or go over the points I think are very important on why you need to choose a postgraduate course that has a placement or that offers a placement, or as they like to call it here in UK, a sandwich course or an SW course. You get the gist. So first of all, what is a placement course? So a placement course is basically a 2-year, usually 2 years postgraduate program. But in the second year, instead of carrying out like academics, you're going to be working in like an office, or you're going to be working in a place where they're going to pay you actual money, right? So the first point I would say for you to choose a placement course is you have time to sort of like practice the career option, the career path that you want. It will help you, dip your feet in the water and see, is this what I really want to do? By the time you work in a particular sector for a whole year, I'm sure you will know if you can see yourself continuing that in the near future, or, if it's something you wouldn't want to continue in the long run, if you get what I'm saying, right? The second point I would say is it's going to be easier for you to save money. So if you have, say, long-term projects that you want to save money for, your placement year is going to be the best year for you to save for those things, mostly because you're still technically a student, so you don't really get taxed so heavily. And also, like some taxes you're not even going to pay them at all, like the council tax, and it's usually around £100 depending on where you live, 100 and above per month, not per annum. So it's a lot. So as a student, you're going to like be able to save more money because you're not going to be paying like the big boy taxes or anything like that, right? So the third point is going to be that you're going to graduate with 2 certificates. So your MSc certificate and a certificate called the PG Dip. So it might not necessarily mean much to you to get an extra certificate. What is it worth? Personally, I feel this is the least benefit of having a placement, the extra certificate that comes with your main postgraduate degree certificate. But it's still something, like it's going to add to your CV, it's going to add to your experiences, and it's generally a good thing. Something I forgot to mention in the previous point is that you're not going to be paying taxes and you're going to be making a good amount of money. So placements generally go from anywhere between £10,000 to £25,000 per annum. So that's a lot of money. Although there are definitely some placements that are unpaid, but we'll get to that a lot later in this video. So my fourth point is going to be that regardless of the mistakes that you make in your placement year, because it's a trial year, you're going to be doing a lot of trial and error. You're going to be, you're just basically testing what the workforce has for you. Because it's sort of a trial year, you can go a full 360 degrees and like venture into another path after your placement year. So basically you still have the 2 years post-study visa. If you don't know what a post-study visa is basically what the UK offers students that just recently graduated. So if, let's say, I'm offering a postgraduate course now and it's a 1-year course, when my course ends, I can apply for a visa extension and they will grant me a visa for 2 extra years. It's called the post-study visa. That's a whole other video differently, but just know that with the placement you can try and do anything you want to do in the 1 year, and then if it doesn't work for you, you still have 2 extra years plus the placement year you already spent trying out new stuff. Do you get what I'm saying? Right. The fifth tip I have for you is that you may not need the post-study visa after all. So yes, you are liable to get like an extra like 2 years if you finish your placement, and yeah, but you only need that extra 2 years if you're not able to get a permanent job during your placement. So for example, if you're doing your placement year, if you're carrying out your placement, you're going to work, I'm sure that you can have time to also be applying for permanent positions. And one thing about this country is once you get a job, once you get that first job, it's going to be easier. I don't want to say easier like undermining the people that have been suffering and not being able to get jobs for a long time, but usually what happens is when they see that you have experience from somewhere in the country, it's easier for them to trust you and, you know, employ you and give you fixed term contracts and just like that. So it's possible that within the 1 year of your placement, you'll be able to, you know, get a permanent job, so you don't waste you don't waste your money and your time applying for a post-study that won't even count towards your residence, your permanent residence in this country, because the post-study years, the 2 years post-study, they don't count for like on the long term for your residency permit, for your permanent residency application. But if you get a job right after your placement, you move straight from a tier 4 visa, which is the UK student visa, to the UK tier 2, which is the UK worker visa, and then it already starts counting for you. It means shorter time, in a shorter time you'll be a resident, in a shorter time you'll be a citizen, as opposed to doing 2 years post-study and then moving to a tier 2. You would have wasted 3 years or 2 years being a student when you could have just moved straight in and become a worker. Yeah, so that's it. The 6th point I have is that all in all, no matter how the placement year goes, whether it's good, whether it's bad, you now have an overseas experience. You now have a UK experience. Regardless of where you want to go to next, you have 1 full year of working experience in the UK, paying, you know, getting paid. You have proof that you have been getting paid, you've worked for 1 year. And so no matter what you want to do next, you have a very solid start to like sort of like a very solid foundation to now move on to whatever it is you want to do, if that makes sense to what I am saying. So it's very like it's a positive all around. That's just something I'm trying to get to. Yeah, so this is the sort of like the end of the points I have, but there are some other things I need to point out to you guys so that you're just aware of them before you apply for a postgraduate course that offers a placement. The first thing I would like you to note before you apply for a postgraduate course that offers a placement is that schools actually charge extra school fees for postgraduate courses. So if your school fees was officially something for a 1 year course, if you're going to go for a course that offers a placement, they are going to charge you anywhere around £1,000 to £2,000 for the whole year. This is because you're still going to have access to your student email, you're still going to have access to the school library, you're still going to have access to a couple of other things on the internet, because like my school, for example, they pay for your LinkedIn learning, they pay for a lot of things, so you're still going to have access to that. So they sort of just expect you to pay about £1,000 to £2,000 depending on what school you're in, or you know, that sort of thing. Yeah. The second thing I'd like you to know before you apply for a sandwich course is that obviously, like, everything is not roses. It's not all roses. It's extremely difficult to get full-time jobs in this country. Can you get it? Yes, you can get it. But is it easy? No, it's not. I received over and I'm not even trying to exaggerate, I'm pretty sure I've received over 100 rejections at this point. I do have a job now, a full-time job, yes, thank God. But it was hard. It was difficult. But the truth is that no be them go tell you what you go do. It's not them that are going to tell you when you be tired. You know what you want. You're going to keep applying for what you want. You're going to keep, you know, trying to see if you're going to keep trying. Basically, if they say no, you go again. If they say no, you go again. So that's something I need you to know. Don't go into it feeling like, oh, school is going to get me a job. School is not responsible for getting you a job. School is not going to get you any job. You're going to be the one to put in the work, and like, it's actually a lot. So something else I'd like to add to this point is to try and foster relationships with people in your course as well. For this getting a job one, for you, if you know that you're going to get a job, you need to foster relationships with people in your course as well, because all of you are offering a sandwich program, so you might not know the opportunities that somebody else has come across that you may not have come across. So upon all my rejections, it was still a relationship that I fostered with a friend in my class that was able to connect me to somebody that was willing to look at my CV and see if I was even worth the stress, and was able to now say, okay, yes, you know, I'm sure we can offer you a job. Obviously, I had to go there and prove myself and show that I had the experience, because I do have like 2 years working experience in Nigeria as a lab scientist, as a microbiologist in Nigeria. So it wasn't difficult to prove myself, basically. But if I hadn't had that relationship with the person, or if I wasn't asking questions, or if I wasn't speaking to that person, there was no way I would have known about this, if you get what I am saying. The third thing I wanted to tell people is that if you have already started your master's program and it wasn't a sandwich course that you chose, you can definitely switch to a sandwich course. So you can switch from a normal course to a sandwich course. It just depends on your school and if they will allow it. Most schools tend to allow that. So what you can do is to send an email and to your administrative staff or whoever it is that is in charge. You can say that, you know, or your personal tutor, anybody really, say that, you know, or module leader, there's a lot of people, there's a long line. So you can say, oh, you know, you want to switch to a sandwich course, you feel that after this academic year you want to switch to a sandwich course, and they'll be able to switch you provided you get a job within the deadline, because they actually have deadlines in which you can get the job. So for me, I had, say, like a deadline in September, and I also had a deadline for December. So if you don't get a job by September, they can say, oh yeah, just continue and graduate and finish and just go with your master's degree. But if you have but the second deadline is in December, and if you're still unable to get a job by December, that's it. They won't be able to like ask you to continue going on for a placement. So that's something to know. The fourth tip I have for you, or the fourth thing I also need to tell you, is that please, no matter what, don't do unpaid placements. Like, I understand it, and I understand when people that grew up in this country, or people that live in this country, or people that have places that they can stay in this country and not, you know, you're not going to be stranded. Basically, I can understand when they do unpaid placements, but for people like me and you that have to actually go to work and like make money and do things, and you know, basically to have a decent life, right? Don't do unpaid placements. It's never worth it, except if you already, let's say your parents live here, you can live in their house, and then maybe you can be commuting to work. I don't know how you're going to do that, but honestly, I don't think it's worth it, and don't do it. You're worth so much more. Like, your skills are worth a lot, and you'll be able to make money doing a placement. So just note that. The final tip that I have is you can convert your part-time job to a placement. It depends on what job you're doing. It will not be, obviously, like, it has to be a job that sort of coincides with what your course is, or like a job that your school can approve. So you can't be retailing in Primark, you can't be working in the retail section of Primark, or you cannot be doing something that is just a regular part-time job now and now ask your school to accept it as your placement. No, they're not going to do that. But if you already had a job, let me say a healthcare job, for example, some people that had healthcare jobs were able to switch the healthcare job that they were doing part-time. They were able to just move in full-time and continue doing it as their placement. It just depends on your relationship with your manager or whoever it is you're working with at your office. So yeah, I hope this video has been insightful. I hope it has been helpful. I just sort of I found that not a lot of people know about this placement route, like, and that's currently what I am doing. And I think it's a very good idea. It's a very, very good idea, and if you're able to do it, then by all means you should definitely do it. But if not, all things, like, nothing is spoiled, everything is still cool. If you're not able to go through a placement, you can always apply for the post-study visa, and there's no way you won't get a job in 2 years as long as you're looking. So yes, thank you so much everybody for watching this video. Thanks so much, guys. I really appreciate you. Also, please don't skip don't skip the ads on my videos. Don't skip the ads, guys. Watch my ads, and yeah, I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye, guys.